Lesson 8.5. We are doing one of the last really big algebra topics in this section, and one that may haunt you for a good long time. Here we go. You know how to factor a number, right? If I give you 36, you can start generating a list of factors. Okay, now we are moving on. We are going to start factoring a trinomial. And when you do that, there is only one answer. It looks a little bit like this. X squared plus 10x plus 21 factors into x plus 3 times x plus 7. Why? Well, because if I simplify this, if I multiply this out, I end up with that. This is the factored form of this. Here's how you're going to do this. The key question, the thing that you need to keep asking yourself is, what two numbers do you multiply together to get this number that also add together to get that number? This is what you're going to keep asking yourself again and again and again. So take a second to look at it and test it out. We've used 3 and 7 here. Why? Because they multiply together to get 21 and they add together to get 10. Now, this really is all the learning that you need for this. Now what you need is tons of practice. And one more little detail for future reference. The standard way to refer to this, the coefficient of this middle number is called b, and your constant is labeled c. Why? Just algebra convention. Just write that down so you don't forget about it. And now we will get on to the practice. Given x squared plus 8x plus 15, we have to figure out what two numbers multiply together to get 15 and add together to get 8. So first we're going to set up our parentheses. X plus here and x plus here. And hopefully in the time it took me to write that, you realized that, well, 3 and 5 multiply together to get 15 and add together to get 8. To check your work, multiply this out like we were doing in the last section. The answer you get will be this. Let's do a little more. All right, x squared minus 11x plus 24, and we've got our brackets. What two numbers multiply together to get 24, add together to get negative 11? Well, if we need a negative here and a positive here, two numbers that will multiply together and be positive and will add together and be negative, we must need negatives in both cases. So this is going to be x minus, and this is going to be x minus. And then in the time it took me to do that, hopefully you realized we need an x minus 8 and an x minus 3. Why? Negative 8 times negative 3 gives us positive 24. Negative 8 plus, negative 8 plus negative 3, yeah, gives us negative 11. Let's keep going. Y squared minus 6y plus 8. Same setup, so we're likely to need minuses in both pieces here. So, two things that multiply together to make positive 8 and add together to get negative 6 looks like minus 2 and minus 4 to me. And again, to check, just multiply this through. You should end up with this. Okay, here's a good challenge for you. X squared plus 2x minus 15. Now the minus sign is over here. So that tells us we want one positive and one negative. And I'll just go ahead and put that in. X plus and x minus. what multiplies together to get negative 15 and adds together to get positive 2? Well, by this time, I know somebody has figured out, oh, we need a 5 and a 3. And don't forget, we want a positive 2x, so we need plus 5 and a negative 3. This gives us negative 15 when we multiply here. 5 plus negative 3 gets us positive 2. Good. All right, last one. We need two numbers that multiply together to get negative 36 and add together to get 9. So again, we know we're going to need 1 plus and 1 minus. And if we want this to work out, we need plus 12 and minus 3. 12 times negative 3 equals 36. 12 minus 3 equals 9. 12 plus negative 3 equals 9. Now, I could go on and on and on. I'm going to stop here because really, I know you hate hearing me say these words, but the way you learn to do these is just by practicing. So, on page 503, I'd like you to do 10 through 29 all. Good luck. Just remember your rule. What multiplies together to get one number and adds together to get the other.